محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we've been looking at Quran City, and you should have a map in front of you. So at the moment we're looking at exiled corner or naughty corner. It doesn't really matter where you are because every surah is unique. And today we're going to look at the last two of that section or that suburb, which is Sura Al Maa'un and Sura Al Lahab. They're pretty strong surahs. Now, I'd like to, before I start these surahs, I just want to have a preemptive message. One of them is that very often when we read history, we tend to limit those particular surahs to particular individuals. When we do Surah Al-Lahab, for example, we'll think of Abu Lahab. When we do Surah Al-Ma'un, we might think of Abu Sufyan. But that in essence is limiting the limitless message of the Quran. In essence, this is looking at the inner profile of anyone who behaves in this particular way. Okay, so that's number one. Number two also, and I'd put it to myself first, as human beings, we tend to see these traits in other people. When really we're supposed to look within. Do I have those traits? And if I don't think I have those traits, how do I prevent myself from getting those traits? It's so easy to point fingers, but I think I say this all the time. One judge, position taken, when empty, we will all apply. But at the moment, we've got to look at ourselves. Now, when I was doing these two surahs in particular, and the two before, it was important to have a 2 rakats namaz and sort of detach yourself from your personal situations and then bring yourself back to the Quran. So this is just a word of warning. Let's look within rather than outside. So what we're going to start off with is Surah Al Maa'un. It's got 7 ayat. It's a Makki surah. I'm going to look at the word Ma'un first. Okay, so Ma'un is literally a plate on which food is served. When I talk to children, I tell them in England, fish and chips comes in newspapers or in white paper these days. It's that paper. It's literally, maybe I can now go a bit further. In its broader sense, it's literally the smallest act of kindness, the smallest favor, the smallest charity, that which you wouldn't even think twice about. And I'll go back to us as human beings. Sometimes we have sadaqah boxes in the front of our houses. And sometimes we look at our purse and there's coppers in there that you don't want and you put them in there. I'm not saying there's anything wrong, right? That's not my topic right now. But that in essence is ma'un. The favor that you wouldn't even miss if you gave it away. So this Surah Al Maa'un, when you think about it, that's what it's trying to say. So in essence, whenever we've looked at a surah, we've looked at its focus. And this focus is basically on the profile of one who denies accountability. The one who does not think of himself, or when I say think, the one who calls himself a Muslim and is not a Muslim. Or maybe one who denies the divine way of life. Okay, so there's no humanity in essence. Benefits of recitation, you might want to read this. It's forgiveness, acceptance of salah. And if you read it 41 times every day, you will be free from dependence. And you'll soon understand when we go through this surah. I'm going to go into the if I can say, the summary at the end. So we're going to start with each ayah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ara'ayta. It's a question. Ara'ayta allazi. Do you see, have you seen the one yukadhibu bid-din? Now, often the translation is given as one who denies religion, or one who denies the divine way of life, or one who denies accountability. But here, it's takdhib, and I'd like to talk a little bit about takdhib. Takdhib is the act of proactively taking steps against a religion or against a thought process. It's a campaign. It's like, not only do I consider that religion not true, I call it a lie and I make false claims against it. So Allah is saying, have you seen the one who not only denies but campaigns against deen? Now, maybe deen we will take into, and I'll look at a few translations of the word deen. Now, the deen could mean accountability, day of judgment, because say Yawmuddin, right? Maliki Yawmuddin, accountability. It could mean Islam as a religion as such, Or it could mean justice in essence, because Deen, Yawmuddin is about justice. So have you seen the one who does not, now I'll paraphrase this, have you seen the one who doesn't care about, who thinks there's no accountability, who doesn't see his or her way of life as that which divine guidance has provided, and who doesn't care about justice at all? So Allah is asking that question. Then he says the first trait. This is the first characteristic. So you and I have to look at these characteristics really, really carefully. فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي. So Allah is saying, this is the one who يَدُّ الْيَتِيمِ. Now, fa is progression from that ayah. It's like, so let me tell you who this person is. The first trait for this person is فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُّ الْيَتِيمِ. Da'a is not like dua. It's not the dua we do. It's another one. It's da'a. Da'a is to send away. Not away, just send away somebody just like that. Not to just say no, but to send somebody away humiliated. Da'a is also to make oneself unreachable. So if I didn't pick up the phone when somebody was trying to call me for help, that makes me somebody who does da'a, who's sending somebody away. If I were to insult someone, or I say, are you stupid? What sort of question are you asking? It's not only about money, it's about anything. So Allah is saying the first trait is one who, I don't like the word pushes aside, but who sends away, who doesn't give access, who sends away humiliated the yatim. The yatim is someone who does not have anybody to rely on. He doesn't, a mom and dad's home is somewhere where you can walk in anytime, anywhere. Mom is somebody you can go to all the time. Dad is somebody you could go to all the time. Nobody else, literally, can you do that. So yatim is literally somebody who has no one to lean on. Nobody. So Allah is saying the first trait is that I don't see this person important. This is not a VIP. So I don't have to pick up their phones. I don't have to look after them. I don't have to worry about them. You can even go as far as saying, well, you know what? My kids have grown up. They're okay. Why am I worried about other people's kids? What's wrong? Why? I'm done. I'm sorted. I'm retired. I'm semi-retired, by the way. But I'm semi-retired. So why should I worry about anybody else? I'm done. I'm sorted. So there's a lot in this ayah. The first trait is that I do not. فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُّ الْيَتِيمِ. Not only do I just make myself inaccessible. I don't reply. I send them away humiliated. They feel really bad. Next one. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. The second thing, had, is to encourage. So not only I don't do anything, I prevent others. I do not encourage others on what? Ala, on. Now, Allah doesn't say the word here. He doesn't say it'am. It'am is to feed. Don't look at the translation, okay? It'am is to feed. Ta'am is a noun. Ta'am is food. Ta'amil miskin is food that belongs to the miskin. Miskin is a combination of two words, masaka and sakana. A miskin is someone who is stuck. Not only can he not or she provide for herself, hasn't got the means to, but cannot do it. Maybe they don't have the physical ability. Maybe they do not have the mental ability. Maybe they're in a place where they just can't do this. So Allah is saying, this ta'amil miskin, this food belongs to them. It is their right. But the person who denies religion does not even give them their right and prevents others from giving them their right. That's what he or she does. It's a really strong sentence. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. You can't give money to them. You can't smile at them. What are they going to do? And go, no. So the first trait was a physical trait. They send away a person whom they don't think is important. Number two, they don't give the right. Everything you and I own has a right in it. If you and I cook a lot in the month of Ramadan, then what is left over is not meant to be for the bin. It's somebody's right in there. There are so many things that are in here. There's so many stories I could tell you, but I'm not going to tell you them, okay? You all know what I'm talking about. Now, there's a coloration. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. Wail sometimes is known as the worst part of Jahannam, the horriblest part. So, but let's look at it in another way. Wail is also, wailaka is like when you say, oh my goodness, but in a really, really negative way. That's wailaka. So this is like, I don't even like to say the word woe, but maybe I'm going to say, for wailul lil musallin, I'm going to say destruction to those who pray. And it's a carry-on. Alladina hum an salatihim sahun. Now he says an, it doesn't say fi, it doesn't say in salah, he says an. An is like the overall status of salah. So for them, the connection to divinity is like, well, you know, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Now, salatihim tells you that it's also addressing a people who had their own forms of prayer. Okay, our form of prayer is different, but whatever it is, I'll call salah a connection to Allah. Salah is a connection. So their connection with Allah is sluggish. It's the attitude is, you know, well, okay, maybe not. That's how it is. And I'll repeat again, their overall status of connecting with divinity is a bit sluggish. Not a bit, a lot. Why do they connect with divinity? Alladina hum yura'un. Only to be able to get some visibility. Only to be able to be seen. So I may take all these selfies at the Kaaba. I may take selfies near the Haram. Please take them. Don't get me wrong. You want to do Bain al-Haramain? Do Bain al-Haramain. But there are all these selfies. I get really upset when people take selfies with orphans or people they're helping. I don't know. It does something to me. It's like, yeah, okay, maybe everybody's intentions are different. But I know as an orphan, my goodness, I hated it when somebody thought they were doing me a favor. So, alladina hum yura'un. They do this to be seen. On social media, how many likes will I get? Because now I've taken a picture of myself praying Salatul Layl on the deck. I don't know, but this is all relating to us, okay? So they do things, they connect to divinity, it's to be seen. And then my favorite part, when I say favorite, my bit that makes me shudder, if I hadn't waxed my hair off my arms, it would make them stand up, okay? That's what this is. وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ. Mana'a is to refuse. They refuse even the smallest act of kindness. Even that which you would throw away, but they won't give it. So I would throw away that paper on which my fish and chips are served, but I will not give it away. They're, oh my goodness. Okay, so let's go back to the summary. There we go. So those who deny religion, or who deny divine guidance, or who deny being a good human being, there are 3 related to humanity and 2 with divinity. So the first thing is they reject those who don't have a social standing. So don't have a social standing, they will not pick up their phones, they will not even give them their time of day. Number 2, they won't motivate giving the rights of those whose right it is. It is their right. Ta'amul miskin is their right. So they will not feed anyone. Number 3, they have no spiritual connection in salah. No spiritual connection with Allah, nothing. If they do pray, if they do anything for divinity, it's just to be seen. And finally, they refuse the smallest actions, smallest acts of kindness. And that in essence is Sura Al Maa'un. Now I've probably put it on the website as well, but you have a narration where Abu Sufyan was in the habit of slaughtering 2 camels every week. And one day an orphan comes to him to ask for something, and he responds by kicking him away, by sending him away. So there is an individual that we can focus on. There are individuals that we can focus on, but that's not what this surah is all about. Let me go to my Quran. I don't know whether you can see it. So you can see these are now small surahs in the Quran, so they're a bit squished up here. That's my visualizer. Okay, so I've put the building there. And then you can put notes in as you like, just as I have done over here. But if you put what I've told you, for example, if you put the sentences or the words that I've told you, like taqdeeb or deen or da'a or had or miskeen or ta'am or salah, or even ma'un, if you draw a plate round it. I don't know whether you can see. So I have another book. I have hundreds of books over here. But if you can see, I've put a circle around ma'un. So it just reminds me of a plate. And then I've got a book where I've stuck all the surahs and I write little notes in there too. So you could probably do the same if you wanted. So that in essence is Surah Al Maa'un. We're going to look at Surah Al Lahab. And what I'm going to do is go back to... I'm going to stop streaming.